My name's Lyla Mehta. I'm a professor at the Institute of Development Studies in the Resource Politics Cluster. I'm the project leader of the Towards Brown Gold project. The focus of the project is on sustainable and inclusive sanitation in off-grid cities, in rapidly urbanizing spaces in India, Nepal, Ghana, and the Tigray region in northern Ethiopia. And we're working with a whole host of academic and non-academic partners in these countries. So why is this important? As we know, sanitation is one of the most difficult off-track sustainable development goals, and it's particularly challenging in rapidly urbanizing contexts. The future is urban, and the issue of small towns, rapidly urbanizing centers, especially in the global south, is very critical. A lot of these cities are growing rapidly, and there are serious problems around what to do with the waste. So what do you actually do with all these growing toilets? Many of these towns have toilets, but it's about going beyond toilets. What happens to the waste, to the shit from these toilets? And we're also talking about a lot of informal settings which don't have proper fecal sludge management, which don't have waste management. And these are not network spaces, and they're unlikely to be networked at all, even in the foreseeable future. So this project Towards Brown Gold is tackling this challenge head on. And we're really looking at the limits of the sort of modern bacteriological project where, you're going to have all these network spaces. We're also asking, how can we look at decentralized options? Can they be sustainable? Can they be inclusive? A lot of these spaces are very, very marginalized. They're inhabited by manual scavengers, by very poor people, by so-called lower castes. And part of the project is also about finding ways to restore agency towards these marginalized spaces. They're also geographically very challenged and marginalized, so it's very, very difficult to connect these areas to the grid. They're often in the periphery, or there are topographical challenges. So this whole idea of looking at brown gold is about seeing how we can look at shit or wastewater as a resource to unlock its potential and to really create spaces to enable issues like the circular economy, but doing it in a way that is inclusive, that is sustainable, and also enhances social justice. So this has been a really exciting project, despite the challenges we've had. Let's not forget that actually we spent 2 years nearly working online because of the pandemic. But that notwithstanding, we've done a lot. Initially through digital means, but now more recently also in person and through fieldwork. It's an interdisciplinary project, and we're really truly trying to understand the different disciplinary perspectives and why they matter in understanding sustainable sanitation, inclusive sanitation. So we have obviously social science perspectives focusing on the politics, the governance issues, the marginality questions, issues of exclusion, and the policy process. Then we have natural science that is looking at the technical aspects around the shit flow, around how to make these really sustainable options. And then we also have arts approaches, which are seeking to really make visible some of the invisible aspects and use art as a medium to communicate this potential of brown gold. It's been really exciting to work in this interdisciplinary way in our consortium. The other unique thing is that we're bringing together academic as well as non-academic actors and colleagues together. That can also be challenging, but it's also very exciting. And, care has to be taken to make sure that we are addressing power relations, within the consortium and also without. And in all our sites, we have interesting, unique features. So, for example, in Alleppey, it is actually a living lab where our academic partners are working and are co-producing these changes with local partners, with the municipality, really looking at decentralized waste options, both liquid waste as well as solid waste. In Nepal, we're working in a truly interdisciplinary way, and we actually have mud houses in an arts festival where a lot of visitors come in and learn about these different aspects of sanitation. And especially in Nepal, total sanitation coverage has been achieved, but there are all these challenges around fecal sludge management and actually what to do with the waste and how to sustainably deal with the waste. So these are some of the things that art can be used to expose, as of course also the issues of sanitation work, issues of dignity, issues of human rights, etc. In Ghana, our colleagues are really looking at some of the issues around circularity, how the waste can be reused in agriculture, and some of the politics, the business issues, the business models and institutional elements around that. And finally, another really unique and sad aspect of our project is that one of our sites was really in a war zone, trapped in the civil war in northern Ethiopia. Our colleague in Mekelle has been working throughout this period without being in touch with us, really looking at the issue of sustainable sanitation in a city that has basically exploded because of IDPs, because of the war situation.